View is here. Join the Will County Black Diamond chapter of Top Ladies of Distinction for the Diamond View, a 5-part talk show series hosted by Dim Black Diamonds, featuring special guests and professionals discussing topics like mental health, it's okay not to be okay, employment, we'll get you back in the game and discover, do people really want to hire you? And entrepreneurship, tips on starting your dream business or how to keep your existing business relevant during the pandemic by pivoting. Check out the Diamond View. Join us on Facebook Live or YouTube. The season finale of the Diamond View starts now. On tonight's episode, Diamond Topics, we invite you to join the conversation on current events, including relationships, COVID-19, healthy living, and summer fun tips. And now, here's Lady Moretta Smith. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the season finale of the Diamond View. We are so excited to have you here. My name is Lady Moretta Smith, and on behalf of the Will County Black Diamond chapter of Top Ladies of Distinction Incorporated, where our president is Lady Verlena Lane, we welcome you to the Diamond View. Top Ladies of Distinction is a humanitarian organization, and our motto is serving youth and young adults. Tonight, I'm very excited to have Lady Verlena join us. So we want to welcome you to the show, Lady Verlena. How are you?
Hi, I'm well. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We want to thank you, our audience, for your outpouring of support on our Diamond View series so far. For those of you who are new to our show, the Diamond View is the brainchild of the Status of Women, co-chaired by our very own Lady Moretta Smith and Lady Tashar Brock. And then it's also in collaboration with Health and Wellness Committee, co-chaired by our very own Lady Karen Dilligard and Lady Beverly Nunn. I am super excited that these dynamic ladies have pivoted what we could create for the community via social media. With the Diamond View, we have had the opportunity to celebrate our legacy by transforming lives and making a difference, one team, one lady, and one community at a time. And through this pandemic, we have created a unique platform. This is unique. This is really unique. And I'm so excited about it, that we're able to serve not only youth and adults, not just ladies, but you guys have been jamming with the young men that you have had on this particular platform, and how we've been able to connect community-based programs and projects through the Diamond View. So I'm just overwhelmed that we can get on here and talk about relationships and be very open and very truthful. We've, touched on mental health. That's a big topic that's going on the news all this week, actually. And so I'm glad that this was birthed through our chapter, the Will County Black Diamonds. And I just want to continue to tell the ladies to keep on shining bright like a diamond. And thank you all for continuing to come on and support the Will County Black Diamond chapter.
Yes, thank you, Lady Nina. So as Lady Nina mentioned, in our series, we've talked about mental health, we've talked about love, we've talked about employment, we've talked about pivoting your business to thrive during the pandemic. Last month, we raffled off a free business consulting session with Rashid Carter from Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses. So congratulations to our raffle winner there. And on a programming note, tonight is our season 1 finale. But as always, after each show, we want to hear from you. And really, we want to hear from you during the show, too. But especially after, please make sure that you take our survey at the end of the episode. The link will be in the chat. So just click the link in the chat and it will take you to the survey. And we also want to invite you to connect with us on social media because we will be back in the fall with new episodes for you. So like our social media pages, we're on YouTube, we are on Instagram, we're on Facebook Live. So make sure that you're keeping up with them Black Diamonds, okay? Tonight we have a really special episode for you. Our Status of Women and Health and Wellness Thrust and Committee members are here, and we're going to do a full show of diamond topics. So we've seen you in the comments, we've heard you in the comments, and we invite you to join us in the comments tonight. So that's right. So it's us and you tonight, and we're going to be chatting about current events. So relationships, COVID-19, healthy living, and then we have some tips for you on summer fun. So join the conversation in the comment section, okay? Right now, let's bring Ladies Brandy, Ladies Tachar, Lady Stacy, and Lady Dion to the screen. Good evening, ladies. How are you, Lady Dion?
I am well. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. So I know we're going to wait on Lady Brandy here, but tonight we want to talk about celebrities and relationships. There's been a lot in the news from all different types of, perspectives about celebrities and relationships. So I know you ladies have some perspectives here on some of the things that have been going on. So we invite you, our audience, to join us in the chat, and you ladies take it away.
Well, hello, Black Diamonds. How are you?
Hey, Lady Brandy.
How are you, Lady Brandy?
I am so excited. I am so excited to be talking about relationships. Relationships are one of our biggest hot topics. We did a lot of Diamonds After Dark talking about relationships at the end of the show. So, what do you guys think about Real Housewives of Atlanta and that Portia?
A mess.
So I really want to hear what you all have to say because as some people know, my marriage is my second marriage, and it's my second marriage for myself and my husband. And so we did hear man, you guys are moving so quick. Man, like the day he met me, he said, "Oh, she's supposed to be my wife." We were like literally at the club, and he was like, we were with a mutual friend, and he was like, "So what you doing later?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like the rest of your life, what are you doing? like, dude, that's the funniest line, but it worked. How soon is too soon to move on?
I really think it depends on a person. Some people bounce back, where I'm sure all of us experience others that do not as well. It just depends on, what you went through in the previous relationship. So, but hey, she like it. I love it. If it's going to work, it's worth it.
A caveat to that, though, that whole piece, and I don't watch Real Housewives that much. I watched it, I think, season 1 and haven't watched it really since then. But one of the biggest things that I kept hearing about this whole thing was that this was her friend's ex-husband. So when are things kind of off limits? So for me, friends, exes, they're off limits. It's not,
Yeah, what happened to
Lady Dion, I beg to differ.
There's no girl code there.
Right. I don't think that she described her as her friend. She's
Mhm.
her acquaintances. So are you saying that from your perspective, like the acquaintance bowl is too small to swim in too?
Yeah, because was it really an acquaintance? That's good to say to clean it up, right? But I mean, I don't know. I'm not in it, don't know it. But for me personally, nope. Acquaintances, friends, for me, off limits.
I'm right with you, Deanna, Lady Deanna. I wouldn't be feeling that as well. I know it's fair game, but I don't want to be at my event with my friends and see you with my ex, and that's just real. I don't. You know, I'm a big girl, but when it comes to that, no, I'm not ready for that. I'm just being very transparent about it.
Lady Stacy,
Nor am
did you
I.
have something you wanted to add?
I did. I was going to say nor am I, because even acquaintance, friend, or otherwise, when you have dinner and go to events with someone, to me, that starts the girl code. If we're going to different events together and going to dinner together, that's girl code all day long. So no, I just could not go get engaged to one of my acquaintances' husband. No.
And
Well,
look,
you
Lady
know,
Stacy, look, I dare you to want to hold a conversation with me to talk about that person too. That's
Right. What you gonna say to me? If he my ex, I know the bad stuff about him already, right?
right.
Right.
We're
but I
not
think that
gonna
one
go
of
back and forth on that.
one of the things that we're missing is that in their society, and you know, with that type of money is going to only deal with money. You know, let's be real. Like if I'm, you know, making upwards, you know, $200 million or $100 million a year, I'm not going out with the janitor down the street. And so you have to realize that they're only going to be with a certain amount of people. We don't hear those conversations coming from like a Sierra and a Future and her husband, and they've been together. I know that they weren't in the same circles, but we see a lot of guys do it all the time. Look at how many baby mamas Chris Brown got. Some of those chicks know each other.
Mm. So
True,
it's
it's a
called
double
recycling
standard.
love.
Yes, and speaking of recycling love, what about J-Lo? What do you all feel about J-Lo recycling back to the Bennifer stage?
J-Lo had to do twice around, I guess, because she seems to leave and come back, leave and come back. But hey, she got it going on. She could do what she want to do. She seemed to be good at it. So
She
He
grown,
said he
you know,
wanted that old thing back. He wanted that old thing back. I think it was more so him. He's been defending her. He's been defending her for a while now. He wanted that old thing back. I think he's been putting in that work behind the scenes, y'all.
Uh-oh.
hey,
You know, hey,
hey, I guess
whatever it takes,
it's
because I
right.
know I did a recycle myself. If it's right, it's right. I did a recycle, and you know, work was being put in on the back end too, and I did a recycle myself. And 16 years later, I'm still with mine. You know, hey, and everything is good. So sometimes, you know, that first time around might not be the best time around, and you need to circle back around and
When
get
they
it
get
right.
it right, Lady Stacy, he had to get it right the second time, right?
Absolutely.
Now that's a good thing. So to piggyback off of that, so you know, you said you went back around and you got that proposal, right? And he proposed to you, right? So lately it's been a lot of, on Facebook, I've seen social media, a lot of trending of women proposing to men. For me, no, but I want to hear your thoughts on that. Like seriously, I've been seeing a lot of them, like really, and it's come up a lot lately, but I did a little research and this isn't anything that's new. Like this has been going on for a while. I read a few articles of, you know, and they gave their opinions, kind of like they were against this whole male oriented tradition, or they never want someone else to make a decision for them. So people, you know, really thought about it. It felt like, yeah, I'm going to propose to him. So what are your thoughts on that, ladies?
I'm old school. The Bible said when a man findeth a wife, he findeth a good thing. And
Proverbs 18:22.
Come on,
and,
that's the
and
word.
my grandmother always said that a man's supposed to love you more than you love him, because men have you know, let's just be real. They have a lot more options. They're more typically in a relationship more apt to stray. And so I really just think that if the man lets down his guard enough to let you in, to be that kind of vulnerable with you, that speaks volumes. Women are lovers. They are lovers and nurturers by trade. So that's not uncommon for a woman to show that. But for a man to get down, to lay down his life, to say, I want you to have my last name, I'm willing to do this, this, and this for you, that speaks volumes. I would rather wait for that than go off the deep end and go to him.
And you know, Lady Brandy,
And
the
it's
piggyback, I too believe in the fact of what the Bible says about that, but then it makes you wonder, you're reversing the roles now. So how does that start your marriage off? You start now being everything that God called him to be, and you doing the reverse. I think, Lady Brandy, when we were having this discussion before, you mentioned you saw a young lady who was very much so pregnant, who got down on her knee to propose. Or we hear that women have nagged men so much that they're afraid he won't ask, so then they ask. But really, do you want that? If you're nagging him, do you really want that? You feel like you don't have any other option than to ask him yourself? So how does that really go in your marriage? How's that starting it out right? I'm just saying.
And it makes me wonder too, are they ready? Because if you have to ask them, are they ready? And so are they saying yes just because, or are they really ready? Because if they're really ready, it seems that they would ask you. But I'm of the same mindset. And I know to you know, everyone has their own opinion, but I too am of the mindset of just waiting on love. But you know,
well, let me ask you,
my
ladies.
sisters.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Lady Stacey. I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying I can't fault my sisters who want to do that themselves and take that on, because it's everybody's personal choice. But I'm just giving you my opinion. It's just really just, you know, I would just wait.
So let me pose a question to you ladies. Really, do you think that marriage is a requirement if you've been in a relationship? So prime example would be Oprah and Stedman, Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell. What do you guys think about that? I mean, they've been together. The whole world knows they've been a couple for years, but they've elected not to be married. So how you guys feel about that? Especially all three of you all are married.
You know what? I'll say this, like everybody has their own way, thought process and how they want to do things. Right. For me, marriage is the way. But if that works for them, because to me, it seems like they have everything that most married couples have: the love, support, family, you know, commitment to one another. They just don't have the paper. So if that works for them, then that works for them. You know, oftentimes we think about, though, like, well, what if one of them passes away, or if it comes to some decision making and things of that nature. We always talk about estate planning a lot in our conversations. Wills, things can be written out for them for those decisions to be made. So, I mean, they look like they are happy and doing great at it, not married. But for me personally, I have to be married.
Lady Dion, let me piggyback off of what you said about estate planning. Now, we had a discussion about this. For those who've been married more than once, how many times have people forgot to change their paperwork, and that first spouse is still on that pension, on that retirement, and you've been in that house with that person 20, 30 years, and when they die, you have no rights to nothing because they forgot to change paperwork. Or I've seen so many people been hurt too. Even the family contested the fact of what they had in place because they weren't a legal spouse. So can you imagine how devastating that could be? You've been with this person all these years, and someone is contesting your rights to what you built with that person that you were in a relationship with.
I bet nobody's gonna question Stedman and Oprah stuff at all.
I'm with you. I know they're not.
And Lady Tashar, I actually agree with Lady Dion. However, I think that marriage is not a requirement. I think that that's one of the reasons why so many women are not married. Both times that I've been married, I wasn't looking to be married. I wasn't, I wanted to date. I wanted to have fun. If it happened, it happened. And I think that a lot of women look desperate. You know, they had that magnet and that flashing sign. Please marry me. Please pick me. Please pick me. And if I'm, I'll walk all the way around too. I think that if you just date with the idea of this is going to be fun. And then if you, so Steve and I we lived together for 2 years prior to getting married. Now at the point, like we have kids, we had a blended family. It was a lot of stuff. For us, it was better to go ahead and get married. But I mean, it's not, for me, like if God forbid anything happened to him, I would be happy just dating. I would be happy not getting married again. So it's not a requirement for me, but I've been married, so I can speak from that lens of having already been married. But I would have been okay if we didn't have children, just living.
Well, you know, Lady Brandy, I'm kind of agreements with you as well, because I was okay with dating too. John and I dated on and off for 4 years, and before he proposed. But in my mind, I was saying to myself, you know what? I didn't have the pressure of I have to be married. I have to be married. I felt like if it came, it came. If it didn't, it didn't. I was okay actually being Oprah and Stedman, you know, because I think once you take the pressure off yourself, when it comes, it will just happen naturally. And you're not always sitting on eggshells. Is he going to ask me? Is he going to ask me? Is he going to ask me? And get disappointed when he doesn't ask you, when it's times that you think that he would ask you. So if you just relax it and just enjoy the aspect of dating and be okay with dating, it's just going to happen naturally, and it's going to come. And I think it's just a smoother transition. So, you know, that's just my 2 cents. So either way, as long as if you're going to live together, just have your paperwork together. That's all I have to say. Because if somebody died, heaven forbid, or needs to go to the hospital, you need to speak for that person. So it's really up to you.
But I'm going to tell you something interesting. I'm in a couple groups on Facebook, and I would say it goes both ways. So I'm hearing, especially the women that are in this group is for Black Christians and single, whatever. And when I tell you some of these comments, these po babies, they like on there. Well, they even, and not to judge anyone, because it's too much for me. I'm not that. I don't know you like that. I'm not gonna get in this public forum talking about it. But people are really, really desiring to be married, believe it or not. At least in our generation, our age, and a lot of people that's at least our age or older. You know, I have a girlfriend who's in her 60s was like, I don't want to waste time with you. I know after 90 days that I'm not trying to just be dating you casually because I'm getting older. And she's serious about, I know, blah, 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 90 days. I'm either going to want to be bothered with you or I don't. But it's interesting to hear a lot of the women, they're like in their 40s and 50s are saying, yes, what can I do? You know, so I can meet this person because I really want to be married. Then people start dealing with the biological clock about it. And I'm just grateful. I'm not like that. And I agree with you guys. It's like, whatever God has for me is for me anyway, but I don't want to stress myself or run anyone else away from stressing them out about the idea of marriage. Speaking of that though, let's get back to Hollywood, ladies.
But,
have you
realized?
We have a comment.
Before you go there. Yep.
Okay.
We had a comment that popped in from Greta, which said once she got married, everything changed, and she wanted our thoughts. So what I will say is some things did change for me, Greta, because we had a blended family, and it was more of the blended family things that we needed to work out. I don't think that our marriage itself changed. I think for us, we got married in our early 30s. So it was that bridge. We had a lot of stuff going on. Our parents died, health issues, changing jobs. So I think that a lot of times what people don't realize in marriage, you have to have that rubber band kind of faith to deal with all the things that are going to come along. And to Shar, back to your point, you need to be whole. A lot of women that I hear are looking for marriage, are looking for that other half to make that half of them 100%. You need to be 100% first before you even think about going into marriage.
I would agree with you, Lady Brandy, because I knew, let's say you go back to your 30s, I knew there were some things that I asked God to do just for me. some things that I wanted to accomplish personally. And I knew I wasn't ready. I was still doing stuff, going everywhere. And I was fine with that. But as I'm hitting closer to that middle age range, yes, would I love to have that? I would. But at the same time, I'm not going to rush and get myself in a mess that I can't get myself out of. So I'm going to be patient to trust the process. And in the meantime, I'm not going to stop living. And everyone who knows me know I don't let grass grow under my feet. I'm always moving. But you know, most of my friends are married. I respect their marriage. I love them. I love their spouses. It's awesome. But it's when it's your time to have it. Not because my biological clock is running out. It's when it's timing for both of you all, not just me, because I feel like, Lord, I got to have somebody before I get too old. No, not at all.
Can I just address Greta as well, real quick, just from the perspective of things change throughout the years. And my husband and I have been together forever, since we were 16 years old, right? So we dated and we got married in our early 20s. So think about the different person that you are, the changes that you go through from 16 years old to almost 50 years old. So in that, it's all about communication. That's what it's always been for he and I, communicating through all the stuff, like Lady Brandy said, you know, when you have death in the family and illness and all that, you got to work through all that. You got to talk through it. And you got to be, just like I said in our very first episode, you know, it's okay to not be okay. You have to be friends. You have to fall back on that friendship, because that's the foundation of any relationship you have. So with that, it's just all about communicating, talking to your spouse, trying to work things out, and listen to what they're saying. Now, don't be so quick to respond to what they're saying. Listen to what they're saying and take that in. And I'm still, after almost 25 years of marriage, I'm still having to tell myself the same thing. Listen to Johnny. Listen. Don't be so quick to say something back.
But you all are doing something right. 25 years is a blessing, and you both are still young. So kudos to my sister for 25 years of marriage.
And I want to say something else to that too, just to piggyback a little bit more, not only to listen, but also to pick your battles, because every little thing that they say or do is not worth, that you don't agree with, is not worth a discussion or an argument. So really pick your battles. If it's something that you just say, you can just say whatever, it's not that big of a deal. Because, you know, when you start arguing all the time for the littlest things, then those little things turn into big things. And before you know it, your communication is out the window. So, but I agree with everything Lady Brandy and Dion said. But then I would also add on, pick your battles.
And let me just, so we can get to the next one. In the comments, Terry said it was, marriage doesn't mean instant happiness. That's true. That's true. Mm-hmm. You have to work at it. And let's talk about, you know, in Hollywood, we have great examples of great marriages that are working. We're looking at Angela Bassett and Courtney Vance. Look at, that's just love for years. Viola Davis and her husband, Tamia and Grant Hill, Giselle and Paula, some of our favorite couples, but Hollywood don't really get into the Black family is doing well. There are a lot of us that are successful in marriages, but we like to see all the drama and the madness about it. But and I want to kind of reel that in the drama that is seen on TV, social media, and things of that nature. Do you know our younger generations feel like marriage is boring and it's too much work? They do not believe in owning anything or just sticking with anything. It's like, if it is not right, if it's not interesting and holding their attention, done with it. Yep. You know, and that's kind of, it's we've sold these images to our youth that everything is so easy to get and obtainable. But whereas we're generations, we were raised that it takes work. For anything that you want that's worthwhile, you have to put in the work. But as we've seen, for those who watched the Jada Pinkett Smith, the Red Table, and all these different sexuality things that are coming out, because they're constantly popping and trying different things. And I laugh. One of my good guy friends told me, None of us, we ain't getting married. Nobody don't want to deal with that drama because every friend I know, they're trying to get divorced or they can't stand each other, especially during this pandemic. They realized they didn't know who the heck they were married to because their schedules were so busy, they never had to deal with their spouse. And when I tell you, people talking about, look, oh man, she gonna be at home this time. I gotta make sure I'm not at home, or I'm gonna sit outside.
Stuck in the house with a stranger.
Yes.
Well, you know what? I think everyone needs to turn on Black Love because they have marriages from 1 year to 30 years to 40 years to 60 years. And just listening to those couples, no matter how many years, and they can all attest to going through trials and tribulations, but you can look at them and tell that they still love each other. They still have that glow, regardless of what they've gone through, whether it be infidelity, whether it be money, whether it be infertility, jobs, whatever, mixed families. They've been through it all, but they still, you can look at it in their eyes that they still love each other. And it is a career. You know, marriage is a career. It's not a job, it's a career. This is your career. Your 9 to 5 is your job, but your marriage is your career. And so I think that is such a positive show. And too bad it wasn't on like 2, 5, or 7 where it's prime time. But it is such a good show that is indicative of what Black Love is all about.
And our kids don't see that enough. That's the problem. They don't see it enough.
No, they don't. Not at all. Oh, this has been great, ladies. We could just, Lady Moretta, you know, we could just go on and on about this relationship piece, but
I was
we got other things. You know, we got other things to talk about, but that's okay.
We can talk about this all night. For our audience, keep the conversation going in the chat. That is, you know, that's, if you want to do that, that is fine. Right now, we're actually going to switch gears and we're going to talk about COVID-19 and some of the updates that are happening there with Ladies Tracy and Lady Brandy. I know that the CDC has put out new guidelines. It kind of took all of us by surprise a little bit. We weren't ready for the no mask situation. But the CDC recently said, like, if you're fully vaccinated, that you don't need to wear a mask. What are your thoughts on that, ladies?
Well, I totally disagree. I'm going to make the choice that I think is best for me because everyone is not vaccinated. And so I don't trust that. So I'm going to wear a mask. I wear a mask to work. I wear a mask to church. I wear a mask when I go everywhere. Only when I'm with people that I know have been vaccinated do I take off my mask.
And even in that, I still wear a mask. And for me, it's more about the different strands. No one has any evidence that the strands, the other outliers that are coming up, that the vaccination is going to be 100% proof against those. So that's my issue. When we go into like thinking about Lollapalooza is coming back and all those different people and where they may have come from, even if you're vaccinated, you can still be asymptomatic or be a carrier. It's still too early for me to be unmasking.
Yeah, that's one of the misconceptions that I think a lot of people have. Like they went and got vaccinated and it's like, oh, okay, I'm invincible now and I can't catch COVID. Like that's not a thing, everyone. So you still can get COVID even if you're vaccinated. What we've heard and what has been shown is that the symptoms will just be less severe than they would be if you were not vaccinated. And we've seen that they're called breakthrough cases where fully vaccinated people have caught COVID. The Yankees had an outbreak and I think 9 members of the team caught COVID last week.
Yes.
So, I mean, if the Yankees can catch COVID, anybody can catch COVID, okay?
But then you also have to think about those men were probably very healthy men, probably didn't even have any history of illnesses, and for them to catch it. But you have to think about where have they been, where have they traveled to, how many cities have they been exposed to, who's on the bus with them, who's at the hotels with them, who else are they coming into contact with?
And that's why it's just not time to let go of all of these safety protocols, wearing your mask, washing your hands, maintaining that 6 feet distance, using hand sanitizer. So we have to maintain what we've been doing throughout, or we're going to find ourselves right back in that same boat. And we do not want that to happen.
I agree, because a lot of what's happening is really on the honor system. So no one is like pulling out a vaccination card to go into a restaurant and dine, let's say, or even going back to work. No one really asks for a vaccination card.
No, I beg to differ. Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
Depending on your employer, yeah. But I
No,
mean,
but no, like even in the Barclays Center this weekend, they had seats for vaccinated people and unvaccinated people. And if you were unvaccinated, you had to sit in a different section with a mask. If you were vaccinated, you had to bring a card. Club Hydrate in Chicago, near Wrigley Field, Boys Town area, you had to show your mask. You had to show your vaccination card to get in. You couldn't even get in without it. And then I believe the city of Chicago is having those summer events, the summer dance season, but you have to be vaccinated in order to attend. So they're asking for cards now.
Well, what they're doing really is trying to incentivize people to get vaccinated. Right now, we're at about 38% vaccination in the state of Illinois, about 39% in the United States. And President Biden said he wants to get us to about 70%, which would lead us almost into herd immunity. So the more people that get vaccinated, the safer it is for everybody, not just for me, but for everybody. So I get the incentives. You know,
right.
and I would feel a little bit more comfortable going to a vax party where I know more people are vaccinated. I'm going to feel a little more comfortable.
Right, but then you have this whole this black market of vaccination cards. People have been getting busted and arrested for making fake vaccination cards. So, you know, people are going to do what they want to do. And so I think it's up to, obviously, we each have a choice in terms of how we want to proceed with the vaccination or not getting vaccinated. But at least in wearing a mask, like that's something so simple that we all can do for each other, not just for ourselves, but for the next person that comes along. Because it is your right and your choice to do that. So I know that both of you have teenagers. What are your thoughts on teenagers, you know, and the vaccination? So Pfizer, they've said that you can be vaccinated at 12 and older. A lot of college campuses are requiring students to be vaccinated. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I have a 14-year-old son, and he got his first shot last Sunday. Once they were made available, my husband and I were like, yes, it's time. And that's really important to us because we've been getting messaging from the school that they've been having COVID cases quite frequently. And so that's very concerning because we did send both of my children back. And I have an 11-year-old who in her school, in her pod, in her classroom, she had a student that tested positive. And so they had to shut their pod down for a moment. So COVID is still here. In addition, what's really most concerning to me is that over the weekend, there was a funeral for a 15-year-old honor student from Bolingbrook who somehow caught COVID, and within 2 days, she had made her transition. So it's out there.
Bad.
Kids are getting it. It's not as publicized as you would think it would be because, again, they want to kind of keep a lid on it to make people feel like it's okay. And while, you know, you still have to be cautious with your children. So for me and my household, our son is vaccinated, and as soon as we see what's happening with the children under 12, we will probably get our daughter vaccinated as well.
So I have a different take on that. My children are 17. So I have a set of 17-year-old twins who are seniors. My son already graduated, and they're going to Tennessee State in a couple of weeks. My issue is that they're old enough to make the decision on their own. So whatever decision they decide to make, for them, I feel confident because they'll be 18 in August that they should be able to make that decision. My issue with the colleges requiring or mandating it, the private colleges, so they're going to a state institution, it's not been required. But for a school to mandate it versus giving you the option of testing, because my son went back to school last year and he played sports. So they did the testing, they did the social distancing, and they did all the things that you should do, and they only had one episode. Now, granted, he went to a smaller school. I just have an issue with anybody mandating something. And we had COVID. We had COVID in December. My daughter was exposed to it, and she had no issues, no symptoms. However, my husband and I were really sick. And so I said that to say that I think that it should be up to the parents and up to the college students to make that decision for themselves.
That's an interesting take on it. when you say that they're old enough to make that decision, if you feel comfortable sharing, have they made a decision either way?
No. They both said that they'll wait until they get closer to it's time to leave for college. My son has a condition that he would kill me if I said what it was. So he takes medication for that condition, and so he's like, I got to see how this is going to work with that. And then Jada has extreme allergies, like this, and this is really bad allergy season. She has asthma, and she's already going through. She had like tubes put in her ear, so she had a couple of things that we're still trying to finish up. And so they both said that they'll make a decision as it gets closer to them to go to college.
And that's fair, and especially for people who've already been exposed to COVID, they know, kind of what that is in terms of how their bodies have responded to it. So that's definitely fair. I know. For a lot of people with school-age kids, summer camp is a thing. A lot of summer camps are already filling up because the space is limited and they're going to be operating at limited capacity. So if you're interested in summer camps, make sure that you are getting on that information now, because most of them are operating at limited capacity and spaces are filling up. For pregnant women, my cousin is a doctor, and she was, people kind of in my circle have been in that family stage of planning, married, 1 or 2 years now, starting to have babies. And so she was telling us about how the Pfizer vaccine has shown to be effective in pregnant women, and protecting for both pregnant women and breastfeeding women so far, with no harmful side effects for the children. So that's just something, a little tidbit, out there in terms of the Pfizer vaccine specifically. Yeah.
Yeah, I understand the fear. There's a lot of, this is new. There's a lot of unknowns out there. And so it's really up to people to make what decision they think is best for them. I've had the conversation many times. I've got to take care of myself before I can take care of others. But this is about others. We all have friends that are immunocompromised, and we want to make sure that they're staying safe. We have elderly people in our families, and so we want to make sure that we're not, somehow carrying this to them and making them sick. But we most importantly have to respect everyone's decision that they decide to make.
Right. Absolutely. And I know, there's the saying that health is wealth. And COVID-19 has certainly brought health to the forefront in kind of changing the way that we think about our health and, the underlying conditions that we may have or may be susceptible to, that we can take preventative measures for. We're going to bring Lady Stacy, Lady Felicia, and Lady Dion on, and we want to chat about some healthy living tips. I think COVID has kind of given us all an opportunity to reassess where we're at with that. So while they're joining, audience, let's hear from you. What have you been doing to either promote healthy living or change your lifestyle during this time? Or what are some of your summer plans to do that? Hey, ladies.
Hey,
So,
Lady
Dion,
Loretta.
Hey there. I know, Lady Dion, you have the Peloton app, and that's something that you were telling us about. So why don't you share that with the audience?
I do. I actually do. So let me just start by saying COVID-19 has caused some bad decisions to be made as far as my healthy choices in eating. So prior to COVID-19, I had lost like 35 pounds. COVID-19, I didn't get along too well. But what I did was I purchased a Peloton. And let me say this before I get started and go into this whole thing. If you already have a bike, if you already have a treadmill, you do not have to buy Pelotons. You can get the app, which is amazing. You can put it on your phone. You can download it to your smart TV. You can download it to a Fire Stick, the Amazon Fire Stick, if you have that. And it's a 30-day free trial. And they have all kinds of workouts. They have like collections where you can do the Year of Yes, or they have verses with the different entertainers singing against each other. They have different programs like Crush Your Core, or if you want to run a marathon, like Lady Felicia is a runner. If you want to run a marathon, it'll condition you to run. They have strength training, yoga, cardio, the bike, the tread, weight training, boot camps. So I just encourage you to do that. Oh, one of my favorites, and let me not miss out on this, they even have meditation. So when you want to sit and get focused and center and, get all the chaos and the noise away, they have meditation. So I would say download it, try it out, 30-day free trial. If you like it, it's $39 a month. And again, you don't have to buy the treadmill or the bike. If you already have it, you can just download the app. You can cast it to the TV from your phone, however you want to do it. But I do encourage you, because it's a lot of people that I've talked to have the same thing. They call it the COVID-19. We've all gained some weight, the people that I've been talking to. So we have to get
now.
Yeah, right, Lady Felicia. Right? But we have to get back to taking care of us, right? We have to get that physical activity. COVID scared us all to death. Like, we didn't know what was going on, so nobody wanted to go outside. The gym shut down, and we had to pivot. With like everything else, we had to pivot and figure out a way how to work out. So I encourage everybody, just download the app, 30 days free, try it out. You will love it. You will. I'm telling you, you will, because I like it. And I know ladies that have it. There's actually a Facebook group Black Girl Magic Peloton. Awesome group. They give all kind of tips. What good workouts, food tips, the shoes you can wear if you have the bike or treadmill. So I just encourage everybody to go out there. Peloton. No, they don't pay me. I just say get the app. Don't buy the treadmill or the bike.
And Lady Dion, I totally agree with you. I have a Peloton as well. And there's another Facebook group that I really love here in Chicago, which is Black Girls Rock Peloton Chicago. And so, like, this month we have a challenge for June. We have to do at least two 20-minute cycle class, a bike boot camp, 20 minutes of stretching, and then 5 to 15 minutes of meditation. And then we get together as a group like once a month. So yes, it's just another community. It's another group to hold us accountable so that we get them 25 pounds off before the summer. Okay.
I agree.
Well, ladies, I don't have a Peloton, nor did I have a desire to purchase the Peloton or get the Peloton app. However, I still find ways to get my workout on. I have my trainer went inside, and so she does her training classes. Instead of doing one-on-one, she does a group classes now, and she does it via Zoom. My family, we walk everywhere. We put the keys down and we are walking. We are walking everywhere, no matter what the weather is. And then I even have one of those little bikes that I pedal while I'm sitting. Like right now, I'm sitting at the dining room table and I have my bike underneath and I'm pedaling. And so as I'm sitting here, I'm still getting my workout on. Yes. So even when you're sitting in meetings, you can get up, walk around your house. In between each meeting, you can get that little pedal. I got it on Amazon. I think it was like $40. Somebody told me about it. But I mean, there's so many things that you can do if you're just not that Peloton girl. Because I knew I didn't need to buy yet another piece of equipment to go to the basement and just be another fixture of furniture down there. So that then my husband can say, "What is this now?" You know. So I knew I had to find some other things. I had to get some hand weights and just really, really do what I knew that I could do. And I'm still being held accountable because I have those classes that I pay for. And then we are holding each other accountable by saying, "Come on, let's get up, let's take a walk," you know. And so it's just whatever your flavor is, you just need to get moving to get the weight off. And not only to get the weight off, but to stay healthy, because you got to keep your heart healthy, and sitting all day is bad on your heart. So you have to get up and start moving, whatever your desire is.
Yes.
And speaking of moving, what about food? Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I agree with you that we have to be intentional. I think that's the main thing. That's how we get the pounds off, by being intentional.
Mm-hmm. And Lady Stacy, we see you. You know, we be on calls, and next thing we know, we see this. Wait. So you are a great example in all of that.
And speaking of moving, we have to get our healthy eating to match our moving, right? So we've been indoors eating whatever. I know my go-to is popcorn. I'm popping popcorn every day, and I'm pumping it on the stove the old-fashioned way, not in the microwave. And then I have the butter, you know. So it's and then I go to the Mariano's and I get the cheese caramel mix and mix it all together. So, you know, whatever your flavor of a snack is, we got to pull back now. It's summer, right? And so we have to figure out what are some healthy things that we can eat. And if anybody who knows me, they know that I am a grill girl. So in the summer, grill comes out and I am grilling. I know my neighbors are saying, Lord, here she is again, grilling. But you can grill vegetables, you can grill fish, you can grill chicken, you can not just ribs and burgers and sausages, but you can grill healthier food items, seafood of any type, fruit even. So and without all those calories. What do you all think? What are your favorite summer go-to healthy eating items?
I would say in the summer, I don't like to eat as much. So I eat a lot of salads, but I look for different types of salads. Like I like fruit on my salads. So just trying to find the new salads is what keeps me going in the summer. And then I like a slushy, icy or something, because I'm flashing. So I need something cool every day. That's just my story.
Look, I'm in the
Mine too, Lady Felicia.
But no, I agree.
I gotta carry the water with me at all times.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Water. Yes. Ice water.
Always water. Always. But I agree with like the different salads. I like to try different ones, like if they have apples and strawberries and nuts on it with the, mixed greens. So that's a good thing. And when you talked about fruit on the grill, Lady Stacy, pineapples are so good on the grill. So good. So that's another, healthy snack that you're not taking in all the ice cream and, all that good, bad stuff for you.
Yes. And I've been seeing a lot of people putting watermelon on the grill too. So that's something I've been seeing much of as well. So yes. So as we've talked about, Peloton, we talked about food, and Lady Stacy, something that we always say in the run community is that you can't outrun a bad diet. So for me, I think the other discussion we have to have is how are we taking care of ourselves mentally? Because everything starts with a thought. So when it starts with a thought, then we get a feeling, then we have the behavior. So some things that I've been doing that we've been doing during this time is really just some basic stuff, like saying no. Like that's something that we all could do. Learn how to say no. That's how we take care of ourselves mentally. So when Stacy is making a choice to be healthy, she's saying no to somebody else, and she's saying yes to herself. Taking a break. As we go into the summer, we're going to need to take some breaks for us, and we need to make self-care a priority. And something that I like to say about self-care is real basic. Self-care is giving myself permission to pause. Now, I know that's hard for a lot of us women. We don't know how to pause. We don't know how to say no. We don't know how to make ourselves a priority, but that's how we will have healthy summers. And some things, there is an organization called Girl Trek. Have you guys heard of Girl Trek?
Yes.
Okay. And so something that Girl Trek is doing, Girl Trek is they're trying to get 1 million people to sign up for it's a movement. And they are making self-care a priority. There are tons of different walks that you can do. And then during your walks, they have podcasts so you can learn about different things while you're doing your walk. They have the walks at the same time so you can walk together as a group and things of that sort. So figure out what works for you. I think that's the conversation that we've been having over and over. What works for you? Like Lady Stacy Go ahead.
Lady Felicia, I'm sorry, but something that's really resonating is no, that you said no is such a small word, but it's such a hard hard word to say. Even though it's 2 little tiny letters, it is a hard word to roll off your tongue. So how can we continue to practice and say it? Because it's almost like we're saying a speech when we say the word no, because it's just that hard. So how can we get better at using that word?
I think we get better by practicing. I mean, that's the only way. We get better by practicing. And I know a lot of ladies say that they have the hardest time, and men always say they have no problem whatsoever. Men, you ask a man something, they'll say no. They don't apologize. They don't feel guilty about it. They say no, and they keep it moving. So I think we can learn from the men in our lives, and that will help us to be able to say no. But it's practicing. saying no, because when you say no to other people, it allows you to say yes to yourself. And so I just think that that's how we start. And so anytime when I make decisions to run, there's another organization called Black Girls Do Bike. So I started riding an actual bike outside last year after not riding for 25 years. That's my time to get my mental health together. A lot of times when I'm exercising, that's my me time for me. So I just encourage everybody to find you something that's going to encourage you during this summertime, and do some things that you enjoy. But the only way to figure it out is to try some things. So you got to try that salad with the strawberries. You have to try that salad or try the watermelon on the grill to know if you like it or not. So that's how we're going to take care of ourselves mentally this summer, by doing some new things, experiencing some new things.
We got to let go of that guilt of saying no, because that's the biggest thing. It's the guilt of saying no. We got to let go.
Loretta is back, so our time has expired.
You didn't have to stop talking. I just came to join the conversation.
And we wear bright colors. That helps us be mentally okay, right? We wear bright colors, and that helps. Because when you wear black, black is cool, but you feel different when you put on yellow than when you put on black. I do. I don't know about anybody.
That's true.
I always have on black, but I try to add a pop of color. So that's my little difference there. No, you gave some great advice, especially about saying no. And Memorial Day is coming up next week, or this weekend, I guess, at this point. So that's definitely an opportunity for all of us to put this into practice. When we're grilling, instead of grilling, ribs and hamburgers, maybe we can try to find something lighter to grill or put some fresh fruit in the grill. I was looking at the comments and people have been talking about their favorite salads. So let's try something different, and let's get started this week and not blow that, on the weekend just because it's Memorial Day. We have Lady Felicia stayed with us, and then we have Lady Karen joining us, and we're actually going to give you some summer fun tips. So in the comments, ladies and gentlemen, we want to hear from you. What's your favorite thing to do this summer? Like, what are you looking forward to? Do you have any tips for the summer? We want to share some summer restaurant ideas with you, some concert ideas, if you're comfortable doing that. And then some of our committees and thrusts have actually put together some summer recommendations. So we're excited to share those with you as well. Lady Felicia, I know here Navy Pier is reopening. They've already reopened. So tell us about that.
I am so excited about that, because I would drive by, I would go on their website, like, are they open? I felt like I was stalking them. And so I'm excited that it is fine. When I went on there and they said, it's open now, I'm like, yay! Navy Pier is open. The Odyssey, you could go on cruises on the Odyssey again. The boats, like I said, the boats are out there. The fireworks are starting back up. And I don't know, the concerts, dining, all of that. But the most exciting thing for me is the parking. It's a flat rate now, $29. So flat rate, $29 beats the 40, 50, 60, all of that. You don't have to worry about it. It's a flat rate. And then there is a new hotel, the Sable.
I saw that.
The Sable, and it is amazing. And I looked it up. So if I wanted to reserve a room tonight, which is a great idea, by myself, it's $199. It's only $199, and it's a brand new hotel. And
that's awesome. Here, yeah,
$199 for two people. It was only $199. But if you are a rewards member, an honors member, it was $195. But that's
a Hilton property, though, right?
Yes, that's a Hilton property.
So if you're a Hilton Rewards member, you get a $4 discount.
Yeah, $4. Right. But you have an ocean view. Right. You have an ocean view. There's a Carrick in the room, a mini fridge, a Chase lounge, a LCD TV.
That's a great
dryer. Yeah, it's all the amenities are there, and you just walk outside and the water is there.
You're there. Yeah. I don't know about the ocean view, maybe the lake view, that'll do it. you went on cruise mode for a second there.
Yeah, I did. I'm sorry.
I don't think we're ready to do cruises yet. Yeah. Have you been to Offshore, the restaurant that's at Navy Pier, the new rooftop?
I haven't been there, but I have heard that it is amazing. Have you been
there?
It was
nice. Yeah, the drinks and the food. They have a really good menu, really good drink menu too. Yeah,
they do. And you can be inside or outside. Nice couch kind of feel, lounge feel on the inside, and then you can go outside and sit along the perimeter if you want an outdoor kind of feel. It's really nice.
Right, and then if you go on a Wednesday or a Saturday, like around dusk, you can take taken the fireworks that you were mentioning. So they have those on Wednesday nights and Saturday nights now starting back up.
Good.
It was really good.
Yeah, it was. I enjoyed it. And then the other thing that's opening up is concert season is coming back. So I know the city of Chicago has their concert series that's coming back. And if you're vaccinated, you can attend those. So you can check out the city of Chicago website for that. But if you're in the Chicagoland area, Ravinia has kind of remodeled for COVID and they're opening back up. And the Blind Boys of Alabama will be there with the Black Violins. Brian McKnight's going to be there, and Gladys Knight will be at Ravinia this summer. So those are just a few things that I saw that the people might be interested in.
Yes, the Black Violins are excellent.
Yes, they are, and they're there with the Blind Boys of Alabama. So that kind of sounds like it could be a whole family show. Something for the, something for the seniors and something for the young people. Lollapalooza is opening back up at full capacity. Don't know how I feel about the full capacity situation. But if you're into Lollapalooza, that's going on. And then the Hard Rock Casino just opened in Gary. They have a venue there. And Horseshoe Casino, they just put back out their schedule. They're going back to pick up their canceled shows. And that included Peebo Bryson as well as Boney James. So those tickets are available too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't think it's going to be very hard. I mean, that's going to be good that people can finally start getting out that way and doing it safely.
Yeah, if they're comfortable with that, I think that'll be, it's good for people to just kind of re-engage slowly at their own pace back into society for the summer.
Absolutely.
Yes, I want to check out the Hard Rock and Gary.
They have an awesome memorabilia collection of the Jackson 5s too, and the Jacksons.
Nice.
So yeah.
Nice.
And there's lots of new restaurants that have kind of popped up throughout Chicagoland. I know, Lady Felicia, we were chatting about that earlier. Give us some restaurant recommendations.
Oh, well, we just got through talking about healthy eating. I don't know if we should talk about this. However,
you can find the healthy options section at the restaurant or ask your server.
Exactly. Be intentional, okay? Don't do like me. So London House is amazing, and you can be indoors or outdoors. But if you go to London House, I just think you have to do the rooftop. It's just an experience like no other. On their website, I loved it because it was like engage, sip, converse, taste, connect, and exchange ideas. And I was like, and we did all of those things when we went there. So London House is one. London House, you can do London House on the 21st floor, that's indoor. If you do London House on the 22nd floor, that's the rooftop. And then they have London House afternoon tea, but it's currently closed until further notice. But when it opens back up, it's a great place to go for afternoon tea. I'm a tea drinker, so that's why I'm sharing that with you if you are a tea drinker. And then they also have brunch on Saturdays and Sundays. So you can look them up. It's londonhousechicago.org. So try London House. And then we have so many options here in Chicago. Raised is another one. Raised is in the Renaissance Chicago Hotel. And that's raisedbarchicago.com. And they also have a rooftop or indoor restaurant. And you're just overlooking downtown Chicago River while you're taking in, having your reservation. But please, everyone is recommending that you make reservations. So don't just show up, thinking you're going to walk right in. That's because let's be honest, we're still in the midst of a pandemic. So make sure that you call first and make your reservations or go online. True Lux. I know Lady Loretta and I were talking about this. Seafood. I don't know if anybody is a seafood person like me. Right. I thought Ruth Chris had the best lobster bisque, Lady Moretta. That's what I thought.
No.
That's what I thought. But their lobster bisque is amazing. So
amazing.
Trulux is trulux.com. They have a cocktail hour.
That's
Monday
awesome.
to Friday, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. So check them out. They have some amazing lobster tails. It's the South African lobster tails, and then their king crab legs are to die for. So if you are into seafood, Trulux is the place to go. So then I wanted to find some places out in the suburbs where some of us reside, because some of us don't like to make it all the way downtown. So out in the south suburbs, you must check out Copper Steel. Copper Steel is a martini lounge. They're open from Wednesday through Sunday, and they're in Homewood. This place is nice. It's under new management. They have live music.
Redbirds have the management now.
Oh, do they? Okay.
Mhm.
All right. So Copper Steel, you can get live music. They have live music, I think, every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. You
Awesome.
can do a martini making class. If you want to learn how to make martinis, they have karaoke nights. And then you can also do a private event there. So coppersteelmartini.com. And then
Absolutely.
they have some
Service is great there. I had a birthday party there one year, and we did a martini making class, and it was one of my best adult birthdays, I will say. Yeah.
good. So check them out, guys. Check them out. And some of their martinis, just to give you an idea, they have a lemon meringue martini.
That sounds
They
good.
have a salted caramel apple martini, and then they have the infamous lemon drop. So check them out. And then also in the south suburbs, there's Ventrendy. So Ventrendy is the only wine place. It says it's the Illinois first Black owned and operated winery. And so they have summer hours Wednesday through Sunday as well. And they just started doing brunch on Sunday. So check out Ventrendy. And they are known for their wines. I like the blackberry one. That's just me. And then they have some other flavors that people like. So check out Ventrendy. And like I said, they have a brunch on Sundays as well. So those are just some of the places.
Ventrendy as well. So right next door to Ventrendy is Poppin' Plates.
Okay.
Poppin' Plates and Ventrendy are doing that brunch together.
Okay, good.
So that is my friend, Fershonda Green, who has Poppin' Plates. So she does a lot with Ventrendy. So definitely sign up for that once a month brunch. And she just opened her own space. And we were talking about restaurants. There's a lot of pop-up shops. And that's what she's doing now is her venue is a pop-up shop. So there will be several people, businesses, caterers and things using that space as well, right by Ventrendy that may be doing a pop-up for the weekend. So keep your eyes open for that, for restaurants or caterers that are doing a pop-up for the weekend. So you'll get to try different things or, different businesses at a lot of these pop-ups that are coming up a lot of places around Chicago. So people who may not have a brick and mortar space, they're doing the pop-ups at different places. So support them that way as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There was a write-up on her in the newspaper recently. And then I've also had her food. So I'm going to go ahead and co-sign that you need to be trying out Poppin' Plates because the shrimp and grits were amazing. So Miss Lady, you are doing your thing and congratulations to you. Okay. So absolutely. I will co-sign that.
And then I think the last recommendation I had was Sip and Savor. So I know Sip and Savor has 4 locations, but the newest location is in Matteson. I want to make sure I say it right. Matteson.
Illinois.
Right. So it's Sip. So 2 owners have come together in this space. So it's Sip and Savor and Red Star. The space is over 4,000 square feet. So you have to go there and try it out. I like the dirty chai tea latte with a shot. That's a shot of espresso. It's not nothing else, just a shot of espresso. But I do love it. The fact that these 2 owners have come together and collaborated. So their theme is the best of both worlds. So you can have some coffee and then you can have food as well. So check out these places, support these locations, please.
Absolutely. And in the comments, Lady Cherie is telling us to try out Whiskey Business. If you like fries, that's on cheat day. And Machine Engineered Dine Machine. So those are her recommendations. And
I saw somebody else to recommend Hidden Manna. Hidden Manna is amazing.
Yes. Hidden Manna Cafe.
Yes.
Yeah, Hidden Manna. That's great.
That's a staple in the south suburbs.
Absolutely.
Lady Karen, I know that you have been traveling a little bit, starting to dip your foot back out there. So give us some summer travel tips, either for safety or just places that you've been, and you felt comfortable there in light of COVID.
Yeah, and I want people to feel comfortable with travel. Initially, and I started traveling probably early on. So I was in Mexico in February, before a lot of things had been open. And it was a wonderful experience. So yes, are you wearing a mask on a plane and things of that nature? And now you do have someone sitting in the seat next to you. So you just got to pray, mask up. I'm doing a K95 on the plane or something, a face shield. So I would say do what you're comfortable in doing. But Mexico was amazing. The resorts were not empty. And at that time, they're still testing. You have to have a negative COVID test to come back into the United States. If not, most of the resorts, if you happen to test positive, then they are paying your expenses to stay for those additional 10 days to quarantine. So
Nice.
not so bad if you actually end up with it. I didn't, of course. So we were back home after our trip was over. And it was a pretty easy thing to do at the resort. You schedule it right when you get there to take that COVID test and come back. But the thing that I want to tell people is a lot of the nightlife is not there the way it used to be, and even a lot of the activities. So they still had a few pool aerobics was still going on. But aside from that, not a lot of other activities were there to engage in. So it was more of a relaxing excursion, a relaxing vacation is what I found. I'm sure that's changing a lot now as things start to open up a little bit more. But definitely, if you like that vacation that is probably a little less adventurous, and you're just looking for some time to relax, even meditation and, great food and drinks, definitely, get out there and start to travel. And the other thing is I did when we were in the height of COVID and airfare was very low. I bought a lot of $49 plane tickets. And that I had friends where they live. So, I mean, friends or family, a vacation for me is just getting away from home. So sometimes it doesn't have to be tropical. It doesn't have to be that. Now, for me, it needs to be warm. I would like for it to be warm. But I've been to Florida. I've been to Texas. And so both warm climates, visiting friends, and had amazing times just as if I was at a resort. So tap into your family and friends. If you're not so comfortable getting out with strangers, you pretty much know kind of what your family and friends movements have been, whether they've been vaccinated or not. And you still can have a wonderful vacation, staying with family and friends and just
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I think the only thing I would add, Lady Karen, is to not forget if you had canceled travel to use your credits, because it has a date, it has an expiration date. So
yeah, some of those, I acquired a lot of points. I had almost 50,000 points.
Wow.
On South. So I still have some. I have a Cabo trip planned. I have a Jamaica trip planned. So just all those bank points that you have that you didn't use for a year, and all of those points are canceled trips. Don't lose them. Go ahead and use those up as well.
Right, and make sure that you're investing in trip insurance and travel insurance for your trip so that you can get those credits back instead of losing them outright.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing now. Because we've seen what COVID has done, and certain things you can't buy that you might have been able to get before. But absolutely, I would encourage you to add trip insurance, so at least you get a credit that you can use for travel at a later date.
Yes.
Okay. Well, you know what? Some of our thrusts and committees have put together some summer tips for the audience. So we want to give those summer tips back to you and share this information with you. We have our first summer tip from our Top Teens of America group, and Lady Marva Franklin Hardiman is our top teen advisor. And so for family fun with teenagers, some things that our teenagers will be enjoying this summer include the Marvel exhibit at the Museum of Science and Industry. And so that is basically the suits, the Superman, not Superman, but all the superhero suits and whatnot, and artifacts and memorabilia from the comics. They are on display right now at the Museum of Science and Industry, including Black Panther. And then Top Golf. Top Golf is family fun. It's basically like a arcade / driving range, and it's in Schaumburg and Naperville locally. So yes, check out Top Golf, and they're also national chain. So wherever you're watching us from, if you're near a big city, there's probably a Top Golf near you. From our senior citizen thrust, which is chaired by Lady Erica Blakemore and Lady Melanie Power Burns, some fun tips for the summer. chair aerobics to your favorite Motown tunes. Now, I myself have even practiced some chair aerobics during COVID, so that can be very fun. If you don't have weights at home for the arm movements, you can use canned food or a jug of water or milk. You don't need equipment for that. And then they also recommend getting out and getting some fresh air and gardening, which leads us to our next thrust, which is community beautification, chaired by Lady Karen Davis. And so their tips for gardening or planting vegetables this summer include choosing a site with full sun. So I did not know this, but actually, if you have full sun on your vegetable garden, your vegetables basically won't die with proper watering throughout the summer. So very few vegetables need shade to thrive, and photosynthesis can occur without sunlight. So you definitely want to do full sunlight for your vegetable garden. And then their second recommendation is to use mulch to combat weeds. So basically, when you're mowing the lawn, take all that grass that you've done and then use it as mulch, and you are recycling there, and you're also helping your own garden. So there's some tips from there. And then for literacy, our literacy committee is chaired by Lady Patrice Henderson, and we have some book tips for you. So for our ladies, Summer Fun books, Becoming by Michelle Obama, and The Most Powerful Woman in the Room is You by Lydia Finnett. I'm going to actually pick that one up this week. And then for general reading, we have The Promised Land by Barack Obama. And that is a book that our chapter is actually reading right now. So I can't wait till we have our book discussion on that. Our teens and ladies are reading that book. And then for teens, the book recommendation is The 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teens by Sean Covey. And that series has been around for a while. And I have actually read that book. As a teen, I read that book. But the principles in that series of books is definitely relevant to any age and still relevant today as I've grown older. And then for the family, we have If I Be Lifted Up, which is an inspirational coloring book by our own Lady Nicole Bullock. So those recommendations are in the chat. Why don't you drop your recommendations? If you have any summer fun recommendations for any of those categories, go ahead and drop them in the chat as well. We want to hear from you, definitely. And that actually brings our show and season 1 to a close. So this has been a great night with our Diamond Topics, just kind of chatting it up, which is something that we do a lot amongst ourselves. Make sure you do take the survey tonight. And I want to say thank you, a special thank you to the ladies of the Status of Women Thrust and the Health and Wellness Committee. Working backstage tonight, we have on the controls, Lady Stacy Mansker-Young, Lady Tashar Brock, myself. In the chat, we have Lady Maria Thompson, Lady Beverly Nunn, and really all of our Will County Black Diamond members are in the chat engaging people. So thank you, ladies, for that. And I'd also like to personally thank my brother, Joseph Smith II of Graymar Photography for our audio visuals this season. He has been wonderful in turning around our openers and our little teasers that we've been putting out for you. So I really appreciate that. So thank you.
Thank you, Lady Moretta, to my almost birthday twin. And believe it or not, guys, we pulled this off and we were doing birthday celebrations this weekend, but this season has been awesome, and we could not have done it without you guys for tuning in every month. You allowed us to be transparent during COVID-19. It is our hope and prayers that we were able to touch you to address some of the key topics that we may not have been, most people wouldn't be so comfortable to talk about during COVID. But we want to kind of keep it real and deal with the issues that we all were dealing with. I just want to give a special shout out to this young lady, my co-chair, aka Baby Diamond. We love her so much. She is the brainchild behind the Diamond View. So let's give her a hand, guys, for all the awesome hard work. And like she said, I want to reiterate for this awesome committee of Status of Women and Health and Wellness. You guys don't know, it takes a lot of work to do this. And I am so grateful to chair this committee with this young lady and work with such a great group of women. And we just say thank you. And to our guests, guys, did you get some nuggets or what? We had some great guests who kept it real with us and gave us and we all left like well educated from each one of these sessions. So this show wouldn't be what it was without those special guests that we had and them having a heart to serve and to be on this show. So thank you again, everyone. And Lady Moretta, back to you.
Thank you, Lady Tashar. And again, just to kind of piggyback off what you said, our guests, we want to thank you, our professionals, our guests that came on this season. You gave so much of yourselves to us and the audience. As we're bringing the ladies back, we again encourage you, our audience, to to go back and look at those episodes. If there's something that you missed or something that you want to know, check out those platforms that we were sharing with you for our guests and support their businesses and what it is that they're doing, because they're doing such great work for the community. We also want to encourage you to like our social media pages and keep up with us, and we will see you back for season 2 of the Diamond View in the fall. And so until we come back in the fall for season 2, you know what we want you to do? Until next time, keep shining.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.